you don't have to bother about beating the machine, really, because the machine is being improved to do more. The AI is being trained to be more precise in carrying out its assignments and tasks. All right. So it's like chasing shadow, if you want to go that way. So rather, what to do is to probably learn how to talk to AI, how to develop AI, how to improve AI, or even to or do studies on how to make AI safer for humans. I think that should be the focus. Yeah, because it has come to stay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Career Gist. It's a beautiful day, and I hope you're having a wonderful time today, on whatever that you are doing. If you can hear me, please write in the comment section that you can hear us, that you can hear me clearly, and everything is fine. Let me know in the comment section. If you have questions, please drop your questions in the comment section. If you want to be part of us live, please give us your consent, and then we send you the link to partake in the live session and to ask your questions directly. But you have to give us consent. On today's edition of Career Gist, we have a special guest. Our special guest is by the name Mr. Osinachi Ozocheta. I know you said I shouldn't put Mr., but I've already put it. So, Mr. Osinachi is going to be telling us or guiding us through the career path for IT or cybersecurity. He's an experienced IT infrastructure manager and a cybersecurity expert with over a decade experience and exceptional knowledge of the enterprise IT landscape. So this discussion, like I said, is about him guiding us on how we can build our career in the IT and security space and all that we need to know. Like we know we are in the age, we are in the information age, and you need to know how to navigate your career in the IT space because every job or every majority of the jobs now require a bit of knowledge in IT somehow, somewhere. So, Mr. Osinachi, please, you have the floor. Tell us a little bit more about yourself before we go into the main topic of today.
Thank you very much, Chinelo, for this opportunity to be on this platform to share knowledge with everyone. It's always my passion to share IT knowledge and to help people to you know be a better version of themselves in terms of career, relating to IT as well. So yeah, so a bit about myself. Well, how time flies. Yeah, I it's been over a decade. I started my career in IT. Of course, after getting my first degree in the information technology, I got into my first role, which is of course as a network technician. I grew from there, of course, to getting being a senior network administrator, of course, and assistant IT manager, and currently, of course, I'm IT manager, and then have diversified now into the security part of things. Yeah, so it's been some journey in my career. I've worked with different organizations, ranging from managed service providers to manufacturing, and of course, also worked within the healthcare sector. I've worked within a government establishment, all right, and then of course, currently I'm in the education sector. That's one good thing about IT. It takes you around because, of course, technology, is an enabler of businesses of any kind. So, yeah, of course, in terms of qualifications, yeah, I've also got a master's degree in IT, and of course, a couple of certifications in cloud computing, network administration, um, of course, cybersecurity, which is something I diversified into within the past 3 years or more. So I started out, to summarize my career, I would say I started out as being an enthusiast, just as some persons that might be joining us today. From being an enthusiast, I became, of course, an admirer, and that's how I got to study IT in the university. And then I progressed to becoming a participator in the IT space. Of course, doing jobs, taking up roles in IT over the years. And at this point now, I think I've become to the stage of being not just a participator now, but a contributor to the field of IT. And I do this by, of course, this kind of presentation, which I've been doing for some time now, passing on knowledge, sharing ideas. I also have a blog site I've been operating for over 10 years, where I've been sharing IT knowledge. And I've reached out to thousands of people around the world. And of course, yeah, sharing this, I hold webinars as well where, I teach people on IT, and of course, talking about cybersecurity in particular, I partner with the ISC2, which is International Security Consortium. There's a program they have called Cyber Safe, program where is focused on cybersecurity awareness for individuals, organization, and also for young people. And that's something I've been, doing recently. And even this month, next month, October, we've got what we call this volunteer month, where we reach out to people to get them educated on cybersecurity issues. So I think that's the much I can say for now as we progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now we can go into today's topic and tell us more, guide us through this IT space or how to become cybersecurity and all that we need to know.
Okay, thank you very much once again. And I want to really appreciate everyone viewing us today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for making our time. And I promise you it's going to be a worthwhile moment. It shall be a time invested, not a time wasted. All right. So, yeah, so here we want to talk about, career paths in IT and cybersecurity, of course. Everything I'm going to say is going to be from experience because I've been, in the field for, quite a number of years, and worked in different, sectors using technology to solve problems. And I've also, been a job seeker at several stages, so I would try to share all that on how to get in, how to navigate, the roles that are in existence. If you don't mind, I have a PowerPoint presentation here, and
Okay.
I would go ahead to share that now.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So I'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to look at this. It looks like a long list, but we'll just go through it real quick. So we'll look at what it is about IT and cyber edge. And of course, that is what we are in, just like the moderator mentioned earlier. Then we look at how can we navigate into it, and then the entry pathways, or as well as the current free certifications. In fact, these are some of the huge takeaways for everyone here today. There are free certifications that you can take and courses that you can take. And I'm going to share the links to these resources such that immediately after this webinar, you can just get on immediately. Okay, so we also delve more into cybersecurity. Why is it a big deal? Everyone is talking about it. And then, of course, we'll look at the career options also in that area. And then, of course, also I will share some personal cybersecurity tips, because we also have our own personal lives, which has become dependent on technology. All right. And then, of course, latest IT trends, and then questions and answers as well. All right. So indeed, it is a cyber world we live in. I mean, it's not a new thing to say this. I mean, but we just have to keep emphasizing it. Why? Because we have consciously or unconsciously become dependent on technology. Our lives revolves around it. So the of course, and we live in what I call as participators. We're not just, for instance, when the World Wide Web launched, you know, several years ago, it was more of just information display. You just look on a website and just like reading a newspaper. But today we have participatory, aspects of it. Websites are more interactive. You have the social media platform. You put in content on it. So that's where we are. So we have become participators and no longer spectators only. All right. So, and it revolves around our daily living, work, education, health, shopping, anything you can think about. Now, this is the part I'm sure everyone may want to know about. How The truth is that, yeah, there, of course, IT, is a resounding term everywhere you go. So what, and some persons may be interested. I know there are people here that probably coming from other backgrounds that may want to, get into IT, right? Or if we even have some who are maybe students just starting up in, in the academic pursuit in IT, and they're not quite sure what really are the opportunities in this, IT. How do I go? So this is going to give you direction. And also for those in IT already, may want to really think, maybe you want to switch to another side of IT. So this also gives us, ideas comes from here. All right. So one first thing I was want to talk about is qualities. What are the qualities that one should have talking about getting into IT? This is very important. And I would say you must have passion for problem solving. This is from experience. What is IT all about? It is technology. And what does technology do? Technology solves problems using the application of scientific methods to solve problems. So that's what IT does. So you must have that passion for problem solving. If you're a software developer, you're solving a problem, you're automating a process. If you're a network administrator, you're solving a problem. This that we're having this, online engagement right now is because there is a network backbone that is providing internet for me and for you. All right. So that's it. It's about solving problems. You must have that, mindset and be able to work under pressure as well. Yeah, amongst other qualities. So this is very important because this is like the driving force that will make you that will keep you going when things get tough along the way. So, um, in my some persons might want to get into IT because, maybe they heard IT jobs pay well. Yeah, indeed, IT jobs pay well, right? But it's really good to have these, foundations laid solidly, and then so if when that has been settled, then the next question is asked is what are the areas I can delve into? There might be a teenager, listening here and like, oh, which area? I hear of so many things. I hear of software development. I hear of cyber security. I hear of cloud. What on earth are these things? And how can I get in? Or what are the things that really exist? So I've just outlined a few. This is not an exhaustive list. So areas one can get into in terms of IT is something like computer networking, just like an instance I gave few seconds ago. It's as a network engineer that has configured the wide area network or the local area network or the telecoms infrastructure that is making it possible for traffic to move from your computer or from your mobile device to the your service providers infrastructure and to the rest of the internet. All right, so that's what computer networking is about. They are responsible for building networks, managing it, securing it, of which cybersecurity comes in there as well. Then you also have the area called cloud computing. This is like evolution of in-house net IT deployments. So this time around, instead of having all the setup within the organizational environment, or even within a private space, now you have these things set up on the internet. So instead of only having the servers in the in the office, you now have servers online, hosted online. So, and then things like what we call software as a service. For instance, just like email service, I will use Gmail as an example. Gmail service is a cloud solution. Why? Because as the user of Gmail, you don't care about where the Gmail server is. You don't care about installing the server, maintaining it, and all that. All you need to do is just sign up, access your email, and there you go. And then, of course, talking about entertainment, we have streaming solutions now like Netflix, YouTube, and all that. These are software services. We also have, for instance, if you don't have you can even rent a computer online. You can rent a desktop computer online. You can rent a server online. So that's what cloud computing is all about. And then we also have the other one, software and web development. Of course, this also brought revolution in the IT space within the past 2 decades. And also, of course, in the area of applications development for mobile devices, mobile apps. So that's what this is about. Of course, automating processes. For instance, let's say a manufacturing company, all right, they have their manufacturing line, they have raw materials coming in and all that. Of course, you can develop a software that keeps track of items coming in, the processing, the outputs. In the course of my career, earlier on, when I was working with a company called Internet Experts. This is an opportunity to give credit to my first boss, in my IT career, by name Mr. Alex Azike. I still owe him, lots of respect. And in terms of my IT career, he was very instrumental to, of course, getting me up to speed. So when I was working with him and the company, we consulted for a manufacturing company that processes palm fruits, all right, and then produces, of course, different other materials and byproducts. So we were able to automate their process by deploying an enterprise resource planning solution, right from the gates where the raw material comes in to where the is weighed, what they call weigh bridge, to the refinery. The entire process, the application tracks everything, even down to payments, integrations with other notification systems and all that. So that was an example of a software. So now we also have the area of data analytics, which is also very trending very much. Of course, every day we generate information and data, and organizations are really interested in knowing how to make meaning of that. For instance, let's say a business that is involved in you know um, groceries, for instance. We would like to know what products are customers looking for most. All right, so that's your data analytics. That's just like a basic example. So, and then of course, telecoms engineer, like I said earlier, of course, is part of networking as well. So one can also be a project manager, IT project manager. Things like Agile Scrum is very trending now. So, and the good thing about this especially is IT project manager is that even if someone coming from another field, or even as a project manager generally, can easily get into managing IT projects. Of course, a project is a project regardless of what it's about. And of course, cybersecurity, which is a big deal now. All right. So because it's all about protecting everything that since we have submerged ourselves into the cyberspace, it comes with lots of threats, and of course protecting things has become important. All right, so then another question is, what could be the entry level roles that one can get into? So um, especially searching for jobs, because that's the next step. By the time one has been able to take the necessary trainings, and go through the resources and have the knowledge of IT, the next thing is, what are the roles? So, and I just listed some of the entry level roles. So you can take up a role as IT support technician. Is one of the basic roles to get into IT. So, for instance, job search platforms like, I would mention Indeed. I would also mention LinkedIn. So searching with this job title is really a good way to start. Then, of course, you can also go for help desk technician. It's very much related to IT support technician. You can also be a system admin, where you manage computers, desktops, laptops, mobile device management, and the rest. You can also be a network admin, where you manage the Wi-Fi network, take care of the network cabling and stuff like that. Then, of course, you can also be a fiber optic engineer. This is something that, an area that, pays very well as well. And of course, is a highly skilled area. Of course, fiber optics is a type of cable that supplies, connectivity, for, wide, large deployments and organizations, of course. So, and then you can be a data technician as well, which is has to do with data analytics. And then you can also be go for junior cybersecurity analyst. Okay, so I'll move on now. All right, so I put this together, which is the entry pathways and specific courses one can take to be able to get into IT, as well as some free certifications. The one good thing that the COVID brought in the area of IT, in my opinion, was the what I would call the explosion of free resources. You know, most courses that weren't free prior to COVID became free during COVID. So you could, take courses, upskill yourself, you know, um, as much as possible. So the first one here is Cisco Networking Academy, and the link is provided there. So they have a program called Cisco Skills for All, right? So it's a good place to start. It takes you through the rudiments of computer networking. And I tell you from experience, most other areas of IT somehow leverages on, computer networking somehow, because after all, the internet is all about connectivity. So if you're a software developer, for instance, and you're running a software, you're designing a software that would for instance, let's say a hospital, let's say school management application, and you needed to host it on a server. You need to have some networking knowledge to know, okay, what type of server, how do you manage the domain name, things like that. Excuse me. All right. So, and then the second one there is Microsoft Cloud Fundamentals. Microsoft has a platform they called Microsoft Learn. There are lots and loads and loads of resources there through which you can get started if you're interested in the cloud side of things. Also, AWS, Amazon have a program called AWS Skills Builder. Is a very good way to start as well. Then Google has a program called Google IT Supports Professional Certificate, as well as the newly launched Google Cybersecurity. I will talk about that later. So, and it's a free content as well. All you need to do is to have an account on Coursera, and you can the program period is about 6 months, but I tell you, you can run it in a month. I did that program in 3 weeks, really. So that's then. Okay, let's just dive a little bit into cybersecurity now. So what is it all about? So it's all about securing the cyberspace. So it is the ongoing effort to protect individuals, organizations, and governments. As a matter of fact, virtually every government on planet Earth today has got a cybersecurity program to to protect their critical infrastructure and the economy. All right. So why is this really a big deal? The straightforward answer is data, data, and data, information. The cyberspace is full of information. It's full of and information has value. All right. So, for instance, let's just take a simple example of a hospital, for instance, and the hospital has got records of their patients. Okay, so that those records have value, and of course, even from the privacy side of things, they are not supposed to be disclosed to people that are not supposed to have access. So that's why they have to be protected. So information and data has become has become like gold, and that is due to the revolution brought about by, of course, the internet, and of course international politics plays some big role. Now, there are a couple of cybersecurity incidents that has happened recently that I would like to highlight, that also that which also lets us know how important the topic of cybersecurity has become. So the so far in history, the biggest cybersecurity breach is something that happened in the year 2020, and it's called the SolarWinds hack. So, and the victims ranges from multinational organizations to government agencies, including the US government agencies, Microsoft, Intel, Cisco, Deloitte, and the cost has been estimated to be over $18 million and counting. So a similar one was the Yahoo, you know, um, hack that happened in 2014, where 500 million Yahoo accounts were compromised in terms of the login credentials. And then in 2017, we experienced the WannaCry ransomware, which over 200,000 computers in about 150 countries, you know, got kidnapped, in quotes. Of course, that's what ransomware is all about. It gets hold of the computer and the information in it, and then you have to pay before you get your data back. And then lastly, we also have the RockU 2021 attack, where 8.4 billion passwords got leaked across the 32 million accounts. So this is just like a synopsis of cybersecurity incidents. So if going by this short list of cybersecurity events, it's obvious that it is a big deal. I'm sure you all agree with me on that. Okay, so this diagram here, I'll just use it to quickly summarize what cybersecurity is all about. So on the top end of this, you see sets of devices. So just take that to be an organizational network infrastructure. Then on the downside, you see other things like mobile devices, laptops, trying to access the resources on the upper side, and in between is a wall. So cybersecurity is all about protecting what is on the upper side from those on the downside who are not supposed to access them, and also granting the necessary access to those outside who are legitimate users of the resources that are stored inside. So it also keeps an eye on this wall to have an idea who are the illegitimate, elements who are trying to gain access. All right. It keeps log of that, keeps an eye on it, and then from inside, it tries to also put more restrictions. So that's what it's all about. And also looking at this wall, what is the standard? Is this wall built according to standard? Does it have the necessary strength to be able to defend the attacks coming from inside. So that's what it's all about. So if I should dig deeper on that, so generally, someone might be asking the question, how do I really get into cybersecurity?